know what? I was thinking still about dating. And you know what changed my mind and really solidified leaving Jeff Mallory for good? Now listen, get this. He had hit me, okay? Yes, there was domestic violence. But these six words, I was done. And when I'm done, I'm done. That means I might think about it again. I might think about, I'm done. And it's like, it takes that for me. So these six words, right? I don't care about your book. I don't be with a man I'm married to who doesn't care about my life, my work, who I am, because my book is me. My writing is me. And so I got to thinking, I have never really been, well, except for husband number one and two kind of really did appreciate my intellectual value in that marriage. In those marriages, they really understood the value of my brain. I guess husband number three, Jeff Mallory, how could he? But anyway, and so I'm like, and Dominic too. I think he was just like, he thought he was a genius. Like, so my first clue with this man, with Dominic, right? Listen, you're in a relationship or with someone, and if they continue to tell you that they are a genius, and literally Dominic will be like, I'm a genius. Seriously. I tested a high IQ. It was 140 or something ridiculous. I don't really fucking know. But look, I don't freaking tell anybody usually unless they kind of step to me. I'm like, look, I have a law degree. I'll fuck with you back, right? I don't do that. I don't do that in nobody knows it. They're just like, oh, that's that, nice lady with the cat, right? And I give people Chloe's page, right? I'm not giving them my page. I'm like, look, my cat has a page. Like, I don't go around like bragging about cases that I win and shit. I just don't. I like send people a lawyer. I call it a mini letter. I'm like, you're going to get a mini lawyer letter and then you're going to settle this shit. I do that shit behind the scenes, right? I don't publicize the cases I win. So when I meet like this person like Jeff Mallory, right, I could tell he was like that person who just like overcompensates when they don't know what the crap they're talking about. So you start talking and you're trying to have like an intellectual conversation or something about philosophy like me or something, right? I'm like, hey, let's talk about something deep, right? And he's like, oh yeah, I know. But he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I'm like, I'm so frustrated in this relationship. All right, so then Dominic, right? He's like, I'm a genius. I have a high IQ. I know everything. And I'm the head missionary, ward leader. And they don't know how to run this church. And I'm going to tell everybody how to run it because I'm in charge. Oh my God. A braggart, right? You kind of know it, right? So I'm just like, those six words from Jeff, I was like, I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who doesn't understand me, right? On a level that is like, I get you, you're an intellectual person, you're kind of, smart, let's kind of communicate on that level. I don't want someone in a relationship who's going to be like, well, I'm smarter than you, I'm a genius. Or someone who's like, well, I'm going to pretend to be smart. I want someone who's kind of, I guess, on the same intellectual level, and we're honest about it, and we don't have to like go one up each other like every time. It's like, oh my gosh. So those six words, right? When he said that, I was like, my book is like about my life. I've been writing since I was 7, right? And then it progressed through 8, 9, 10, and then got really serious at the age of 12. And then I continued writing autobiographies of my life, like every day. I'd come home and be like, well, this is what happened when I went to the mall with like my girlfriend Ronetta and Jaquetta. And yeah, their names were Ronetta and Jaquetta. Okay. And I wrote like 3 books about us, right? It was called Typical Teens, right? I wrote prolifically, right? And I share it with them, like, look what I wrote about our experiences, right? Look. And we like read it and like, that was my thing. And I pretended to be like Oprah Winfrey, and we'd audio record ourselves as like, I was a journalist, and I'd be like, okay, let me interview you. Okay, Ronetta, what's happened today? And I'd be the reporter. Like, this was our childhood, right? Not these kids today. They're like on the, I don't know, like, it's sad, but I'd make up poems and we'd sing the poems, and it was so fun. And so to be with a man who doesn't even know me, doesn't appreciate like who I am, because I'm a unique as fuck person. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm cool as fuck. And so to like realize that this person doesn't like appreciate that coolness, he doesn't even appreciate my weirdness, my craftiness, my artistic. He doesn't even probably know that I, wanted to be a photographer in college, that I love photography. He doesn't know anything. Like those 6 words, I was like, wait, I married this man. I love this man. He doesn't know me. Oh my freaking God. I gotta get out of this fucking marriage. No, the sex clubs, the domestic violence, my boys leaving me to go to Oregon with their dad because I married this man. None of that woke me up, right? Until those 6 words. And then I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And then after following those 6 words, he didn't care about what happened to my daughter. And I was like, I'm done. And so looking into my next relationships, I'm like, even friendships even. You can be friends with someone for years. You think they're your friend. Do they know you? Do they really? Do they? Okay, how much time and energy are you investing in that relationship? What are you getting out of it? Do they get you? Isn't it like, wouldn't it be great to be in a relationship? Maybe you are. I'm not. With someone who just gets you, who just understands you, your quirks. They love that. They're like, I get your quirks. You're cool. Well, actually, my kids kind of do. They love me. They get my quirks. Dylan calls me Dora. What the heck, Lo? We went to Hawaii and came back. I came back with the nickname Dora, the Explorer. I don't know. I guess because he's just like, mom's ditzy. She's klutzy. I don't know why. Because I'm like, Dora, Dora the Explorer was smart, right? She had, boots and map. And I don't know, but it was cute. But yeah, my kids get me. But anyway, relationships-wise, friendships-wise, but yeah, that's why I was done with Jeff Mallory. Anyway, those are my thoughts today at 5. And yeah, still thinking of exploring new relationships, and wisdom is key in choosing the next person that I, date. So thus far, I'm on pause right now. I got a lot of offers. I'm on pause. I'm going to wait a little bit. I don't know how much longer though, because I kind of, want to go out. So we'll see. But this was Minny at 5. And until next time, guys, see you soon. So you know what? I am so triggered. I can't say this to Dylan. So I'm going to say it to you. And you know what? Hold on. Hold on. He's 15. I think he can hear this. But I can't tell him. But I don't know. You know what? He knows. All right. He really knows. Why did he ask this question about his father, right? What did he do? What did he do? Oh, I'm going to tell you what did he do. Okay. So you know what? This is a really cool thing. My daughter Sky put together this whole, text chain of her siblings, my children, right? And we're all gonna get together. So we're talking about it on the text chain, right? I'm like, yay, I'm so excited. Yay, East Coast, West Coast get together. Okay, so listen to this, all right? So we're talking about our plans, what are we gonna do? I'm like, I don't know. How about this? How about that? And Dylan pipes in. He's like, why isn't Dad on this chain? What did he do? And I'm like, oh my God, I gotta step away. So first of all, I did text back. I'm like, what did he do? I was like, don't mention his name on this chain. He is not invited. This is my happy thread chain, I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, oh, woman. You're so triggered now. I'm so triggered because I don't talk to this man anymore. Finally, thank you, Jesus. After 4 children, 20 years. 20 more years. Crap, wait, hold on. It's 2026. Freaking over 20 years, 25 years or some crap, right? 20 freaking 5 years, right? I'm finally done talking to this man, right? Who abused me, abused my son to the point where he shot himself. The abuse was severe. The city of Bend police didn't give a fucking rat's ass. I sued those fuckers for other things. But whatever. Yeah, so I'm like, what did he do? So let's see. He hogtied me, put a sock in my mouth, put a loaded gun to my head. Let's see. He, was an abusive prick every day. He yelled, called my son names, called me names. physically hit my son with hangers one day because my son wasn't hanging up his shirts the right way. And then I, of course, was not appropriately responsive because I then took all the hangers from the closet and then started beating Alana up with the hangers and saying, do you like this? See how this feels? Ha ha, you just hit my son with hangers and I'm going to beat you up with the hangers, and ended up with the police coming. Anyway, so I did not handle things the right way. I'd see him do something and then I'd react, and then he'd call the police on me, and they'd be like, yeah, we're taking her away. I mean, I was defending my son, damn it. Nope, we don't care. So, that's another long story. When women are in a domestic violence situation and they become the crazy person. So the police show up, right? And this is what I learned also when I went to domestic violence counseling. I was like, I'm not the only one. No, you're not. So you're in this fight. Your husband's like beating the crap out of you. One time he was choking me. He took my phone away. I couldn't call 911. Then the police showed up and he was like, oh, she's not taking her meds. She's crazy. She's bipolar. Like, oh yeah, you're bipolar. Lock her up. That shit fucking happens. It happened to me every single time. And you get to the point where you're like, I can't call the police anymore. I fucking can't even call for help. I can't call for help because they show up and this guy is calm as a cucumber. He's like, yeah, she's crazy, right? Yeah, and they're like, she look crazy. She sound crazy. She's talking fast. She's talking a mile a minute about what happened. She's bipolar. She's up. Yep. Yeah, ma'am, when's the last time you took your medications? Officer, he just choked me and you know how many bruises? I'm black, right? I don't bruise easily, but he was choking the fuck out of me. Took my phone away. We don't care. Lock her up. What the fuck? Yeah, so then you go on a Dr. Phil show and everybody's like, whoa, you let your son be abused. You suck as a mother. And I'm like, they have no fucking idea. I was like, after one incident, when Lon hit my son with a barbecue cue in Bend, Oregon, and whacked him on the side of the head, I took Andrew to a hotel down at the Old Mill, right, in Bend, Oregon, and left the other two children, Izzy and Noah, there, and was like, Andrew, let's go to the police, let's go them, let's tell them what he's doing to you, let's come on, let's go, you got a bruise, he just whacked you on the head, right? And we stayed there overnight, and I tried to talk to him. And then they don't air that shit on the Dr. Phil show. No, because the Dr. Phil show's for drama, to make me and everybody look like fucking fuck up so they can make money. So, meanwhile, I'm like, let's go to the cop shop, or the police station. Let's go and tell him. He was afraid because he had watched year after year. I tell you. He had watched them. We had gotten dumped off, in Gold Beach, Oregon, and Lon took the kids, and me and Andrew were dumped off there, and so he was like, Mom, they're just going to lock you up, and I'm going to have to go right back there to him, which we did. And Andrew wouldn't talk to the police. I don't blame him. He didn't trust them either, and so when Dylan's like, oh, well, what did Dad do? Then the kids got removed. Dylan, you got removed, okay? Because we went on a Dr. Phil show, and it was like, yeah, you guys were a wreck. We weren't, we were a wreck. But, finally I'm able to say, I'm done. I don't have to talk to him anymore. I don't have to deal with him. And no, Dylan. He's not a part of let's all get together and have fun, and he's not allowed to be on my thread. So those are my thoughts right now, Minny at noon. Well, it's not really noon for my East Coast peeps. Only 11 there. But look, it's random, unscripted, so eventually at noon you'll watch it or listen to it. But I was like, I got up and thought this would be a totally different morning. Slow moving. I haven't been feeling well lately. I think I'm having a major lupus flare-up because I'm getting out too much, and I'm supposed to wear sunscreen, but I've never worn sunscreen in my life. But with the lupus, you're supposed to, and avoid the sun, and the sunlight can cause flare-ups, and I'm having a major psoriasis flare-up right now. And I'm like, what the heck, hello? Don't do this to my skin, psoriasis. What's wrong with you, right? Anyway, I gotta get that out of the system. So, yeah, but it's good to cut cords and ties with people who are not positive in your life. right? That's the message, the positive message today. If there's some relationship or someone that you continually talk to who, after that conversation, you just feel like, oh, I'm drained. I just argue with that person and tried to give them advice and they didn't listen. Or whatever. That's a drain you don't need in your day, right? And that's what I'm going to explain to Dylan. I'm like, look, your dad's going to be a drain on this vacation that we're all having. The words come out of his mouth and everybody's going to be like, what? Because that's how it is living with that man. So surround yourself with people who are not, energy draining. And that's kind of what I'm going to explain to Dylan in a nice way. I don't have to go through the whole, your dad did this. And I'll just say, look, your dad's energy draining. And this is going to be a positive experience for everybody. That's what I'll do. Hard conversations with your kids, right? Anyway, this is Minnie at noon. And until next time, guys, see you soon. So you know what? I don't know. I guess I'm just having a depressed day again. What the hell? So I think it's Danny Glover, right? Who came out that he has Alzheimer's. Was it Danny Glover? And then there was like a journalist who just came out, like I remember him. It's been like decades. He was on like NBC or one of those channels. And he came out with Alzheimer's. And they're like in their 70s or something, right? And everybody's like, oh my gosh, so sad. So it's like when you hear about someone who has cancer, like, right? Who is it? I can't remember. So many people I love, like the famous people, and you're like, they have cancer? Oh my gosh, right? Oh, sad. Okay, so listen to this, right? So I had a coma. I think it's a rat's ass, right? I can't remember shit, right? Because my brain got scrambled, right? And I also have, DID, which is dissociative identity disorder, which also scrambles your freaking brain because, your brain had to split itself to protect it from, severe childhood trauma, which in my case, actually, my memory started before the age of 5 when I was, with a dead body. So that's traumatic. So my grandmother's brother was bleeding out from liver cirrhosis. And there was blood everywhere. And she was, it was crazy. I was there. I have these memories come up. And I was telling my relatives, like, years later, they're like, you weren't there. You were too little to remember. No freaking frack. I remember. Okay, I was there. The man was bleeding out, calling 911. They didn't show up. They showed up too late. All right, he died. I was there. I remember. Maybe I was like 3 or something. Everybody's like, weren't you too little? No, I freaking remember. Okay, so your brain, when it undergoes, a lot of trauma, especially when you're a child, before things fully develop in your brain and things happen, so, you can split into a different identity. So it's not like you're going to be like this crazy, you could kind of to a crazy murderous person. I'm not going to go there, but whatever. So meanwhile, I have all these things I'm going through lately with memory. And remembering things, forgetting things. And so when people are like, oh, you have liver cirrhosis, it's not like when you're like, I have cancer. Oh my gosh, you're like, I have liver cirrhosis. Oh, you must have drank really so much. Oh, so whatever for you, die. So it's like, yeah, I have these memory issues, cognitive deficiency. I was in the coma. Oh, what are you in a coma? Well, yeah, I was drinking and okay, die. It's like, what the fuck? I have no sympathy for the shit I'm going through. I can't tell anybody like, hey, I can't remember. I just met somebody last week, right? My neighbors. And I cannot remember the whole interaction. So how do I explain that, right? I go, oh, hey, neighbor person. I don't officially have an Alzheimer's diagnosis, right? So I can't be like, I have Alzheimer's. I'm sorry, I don't remember. I would get more sympathy if I fucking lied. Kids, you fuck not. Okay, instead of going, I have cognitive deficiency impairment. I sometimes have hepatic encephalopathy. This is so freaking scientific, right? To say, oh, my liver's not processing all of the toxins out. So sometimes my brain is foggy. I have memory issues. Or A. B. I have DID. Yeah, God, how do I explain that to thee? I had to rhyme, but to you. How do I explain that, right, to you? So I don't know. That's kind of the struggle I'm going through. I'm like, do I want to meet new people? Do I want to make new friends? Do I want to be into a community where I just moved into? Right? Like, hi, I'm Minny. I might not remember this conversation tomorrow because, well, I don't technically have Alzheimer's where you'd feel sorry for me. I don't know how to freaking explain what I have. I don't know, so I think I'm in this limbo status right now where I'm becoming like socially isolated again, where I don't want to meet anybody. I don't even want to go to church still. I don't even know if I should still be a Mormon after that whole thing with Dominic. I don't freaking know what I'm doing. So I ordered DoorDash. Yum, yum, right? I love the asada tacos. They are so yummy. Okay, but listen to this. If you order them, right? I hate freaking ordering out anyway, right? That's why I, became like a master freaking chef. I really am. So I hate eating everybody else's food. It sucks. It's crap, right? But now I'm like not cooking so much. And so I ordered these like little, I love the asada ones, right? But the tortillas are not cooked, right? Do you ever get that? And it's going to suck, right? You just know. I was like, you know what? Screw this. It came with some really yummy, though, homemade, tortilla chips. So I was like, okay, I'm going to, make the asadas just little nachos. And it was yum, yum. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just like, you know what? I'm having like a freak out meltdown day. I'm going to order DoorDash. And I'm actually going to watch Breaking Amish, which I just discovered. So I'm like, I love this Breaking Amish freaking series. And I'm like, yay. Good distraction for my brain. So anyway, yeah, that's what I'm going through lately. Memory issues and dealing with that. And a lot of people don't understand what a struggle that is. So yes, love your people that have come out to you that they have Alzheimer's or early dementia or whatever. That is a thing. It's a struggle. It's embarrassing. You don't remember somebody's name that you just met like the week before. You don't remember the whole interaction. You don't know where you're going. You lost your keys like 5 times last month when they were like, shouldn't have gotten locked in the damn storage bin of the RV. It's a frustrating thing. So I try to keep my brain active. I do my legal work. I always come up with like different things to keep my brain intrigued with things, but that's where my thoughts are today, Minny at 3. And I hope you guys are having a great Monday after the holiday. And until next time, guys, see you soon. So you know what? I have pica. Okay, Chloe does too, man. She chews plastic and tries and eats it actually. I'm like, you know what, girl? If that doesn't come out in your poo, I can't afford that vet bill. Yeah, I'm just saying. Anyway, so I crunch ice, right? I eat ice all the freaking time. I'm just sometimes I just need ice right now, really bad. And so growing up, right, I was watch my mom, and she was always eating ice, and I thought, well, this woman is something wrong with her, right? Because I'm growing, I'm 10, right? I'm noticing, and I'm Dad, or not Dad wasn't there. Who to ask? I had nobody to ask. I was just kind of thinking about it actually. I asked her. That's what happened. So I was like, Mom, really, what's this thing? Why are you always crunching on ice? She was just full blown. Get them, old school, in the 80s. All of the ice for not this crunched ice that we got now. Not the refrigerators where you're oh, I want some crushed ice. Look, when I discovered that in my after I left Baltimore and got married, I was like, a refrigerator can make the ice for me? So I was like, what? Anyway, so growing up, right, I was Mom's weird. She was full blown eating ice all the time. And then she was like, well, yeah, I'm anemic. And I was like, is that why you're making liver all the time? She's like, yeah. She was liver, okay? Have you ever been in the home of someone frying liver with onions? It stinks like holy fucking hell. I kid you fuck not. All right. So this woman, okay, look, we were all mistold that we had iron deficient. We were iron deficient. We were not really. This is some other genetic disease. We actually have hemochromatosis, which is some wild thing. My mom has the 2 alleles. She passed one down to me, and I have 1 allele for hemochromatosis, right? Which is kind of some rare, weird Western European male genetic disease where your body takes iron and goes wild with it and deposits it in your organs and shit. In 2021, mine was in my liver. Yeah, right? Again, not alcoholic completely. Doctors get it right. So yeah, so we have hemochromatosis, right? So meanwhile, I was 12 having to take iron pills. Okay, this was 1984. Yeah, 1985, right? 1985. All right. Yeah, this is like 1985. And they were green, these little green pills, and because they were like, you're anemic. I'm like this little tiny thing, like, I don't know, 80 pounds or some shit. I was a tiny little thing. I'm still kind of tiny. Anyway, so meanwhile, I had to go to somebody who's like, you gotta take your iron pills, Annette. It's really important. And she'd eat her liver and she'd crunch her ice. And today I was like, you're remembering that? And I was like, because I was crunching ice, I was like, every time I do it, because I thought she was the weirdest woman forever. And then in my 20s, I started doing it and I was like, is this an iron deficiency anemia thing? I had to look into it and go, I have pica. Why am I crunching ice all the time? Because every time I go to the hospital, it's all I want. They're like, you cannot have water. We might do it I don't care. I just want ice. Just some ice. That's it. Right? That's all I ever ask for. Ice chips. Really, that's freaking it, right? And so it just reminded me of her today. And I was just like, yeah. And I looked into it and I was like, looking into ice and people, do you know anyone who crunches ice, right? And sometimes they'll automatically go, oh, it's iron anemia. No, it's not all the time related to that. It's not. It's automatically think, oh, I'm anemic. It's iron deficient. No, lots of different reasons for you to be anemic, okay? Or you had low red blood cells or whatever. Mine happens to be, finally they agree with me, because I was spending in my 20s, my 30s, 20, freaking 20 years or some shit, trying to figure out the cause of my anemia. It's hemolytic, okay? So it's autoimmune, where it's not I don't have enough iron, because I'll have enough iron. And then if I have too much iron, then it gets deposited in my organs, which I never do. But the point is sometimes it can be autoimmune, where your body is destroying the red blood cells and you're not getting the oxygen. Red blood cells are important. They carry oxygen to your organs. All right. So meanwhile, I'm 12. I got to take these green pills every day, which I hate. And we were so poor that I could not afford school lunches. Oh my gosh, that's a whole ordeal. I could not afford the school lunches, right? And I think my mom didn't qualify or something because she had a new job or something for free lunches or something. So I had to pack them, and my drink, think about this, Gen Z kids, millennials. I packed water. Okay, that's how poor we were. My mom, we had this little container. It was a little glass container, and I had a put saran wrap or something on it with water. Okay, that was my lunch every day. Okay, kid you not. I had some kind of scholarship for Catholic school or whatever, and with my mom's job, but for lunches I couldn't afford it, and then I couldn't even afford the 25-cent pretzels. I love those damn pretzels. I'd be like, I want a pretzel. Oh, I don't have 25 cents today. Damn it. Anyway, so I was just thinking about my mom today, my thoughts today at 5, and me crunching ice, and I was like, I forgot I still have pica. I'm anemic. But I was looking up the benefits. I was like, what? Ice kind of crunching ice, boost your, brain cells or something, or nervous system. I don't know, it's positive, whatever. So anyway, it's so cool sometimes you have these memories and you think about your past loved ones and you relate it to yourself, and it's like they don't die, you're like, yeah, this reminds me of my mom. And I was doing incense earlier. I was like, this reminds me of her too. And it's she's not gone. And something earlier reminded me of my son, and a happy moment. I guess it was because I was talking to my other son about Dr. Phil, the episodes of Dr. Phil. And I was like, you know what, though? It's kind of, because we were estranged, but it was the only time I got to see him, because after those shows, he was like, I don't want to see her, because he was, conflicted. But I got to say, I love you, and he has to say, I love you, and I have that on video. So it's yeah, we love each other. It's right there. I can see it every day. He's not gone. Just I crunch ice, and I think about my mom. She's not gone. Anyway, I just had a burp. I'm sorry. What did I eat today? Oh, Mexican. Yeah, burping it out. Okay, never mind. Anyway, in good spirits today. Thank goodness. I was sad earlier, but I feel better now. All right. So those are my thoughts today. And crunch some ice. Do something that's a good memory. And that's my thoughts. Your loved ones are not gone. they still are here, living within your heart and your memories. Even if it's a silly thing like mine was today about ice. It's like, oh, Mom, what that? Oh, it just kind of brings them back up, and it's a happy memory, not sad. It's good. So, anyway, this is Minny at 5, and until next time, guys, see you soon. So, you know what? Don't listen to this if you kind of don't really believe in life after death. But I've been thinking about my mom lately, and the day that I had to unplug her from the ventilator, and the doctors were like, she's brain dead. There is no brain activity. And as I was crying over her body, there was a tear shed. I was like, what? Doctor, she's crying. How can she shed a single tear coming down her face as I'm crying over her and saying, Mommy, please don't leave me? I mean, I was really emotional. I was crying over her. I cried my tears all over her. And then I looked at her face, and there was a teardrop coming right down her eye. And I was like, doctors, you said she was brain dead. And they're like, yes, we can show you, we can prove it. There is no, and they showed me, there's no brain activity. The ventilator was just breathing and keeping her body alive in case for organ donation, which they then later discovered they couldn't because her organs were so destroyed. And then she had hepatitis, which was, communicable, and she couldn't, I would have if her organs were, able to save others, but hers were not. So I opted not to donate her organs because they told me her conditions. But the point is that I'm like, my mother's here. What the hell? She's got a tear coming down, right? So then listen to this interesting story, right? Because I've had a couple of near-death experiences. I've been there. I've been in an in-between place. I've seen the hell place. That's not a nice place. All right, so meanwhile, right? And so I was like, years later, it haunted me. Because I was like, was she still in there? She's still in there. No, I'm like, no, she was done. Her whole brain shifted to one side. And they were like, look, their brain is gone. The blood hemorrhage, right? I was like, what shit? She fucking cried. I don't get it. So like years later, and then when my son passed away, right? Because I have this gift though. I have a gift, so I can kind of, as a child, I was like, look, and as a teenager, I can't talk to dead people. No. So I've made a rule with dead people, stop coming to me in my dreams. I don't want to see you. No. But when my son passed away, right? Same kind of thing happened with my mom. On the day of his funeral, I was asleep and I shot up through the air. I didn't even know it was a funeral. And I felt this energy pulsating through my body. When you give birth, you push out a certain way. Well, this energy came up a different way, like he was saying goodbye, coming from the complete opposite direction. And it was like a warm feeling of, I love you, I forgive you, and I'm happy and I'm at peace. That's the message I got. There were no words. I never get words. If you hear voices, that's concerning. The gift I usually have, that I have is more telepathic. It's kind of like either a feeling, an energy, or a knowing. I just know. It's called clairsentience. I looked it up a long time ago. It's clairvoyant. I have that skill, and clairsentience. I get that. I don't know how to say it. Anyway, so he literally said goodbye, through his energy spirit, moving on to heaven, his next, path. And so it is interesting because when my children were taken away, I had dreams about that for years before it happened. And I was like, Daddy, and I talk to my dad in prison all the time about this stuff. I'm like, he's the only one that's still alive who remembers this, my gift from childhood, right? I'm like, Daddy, is that not a dream? And I feel like this is what happened in the dream, right? The kids are going to get taken and they're going to get kidnapped. And he was like, kidnapped? I'm like, I don't know, right? And I was telling him all this stuff, the kids are going to get, it was 2 years before it happened. I was like, they're going to get taken. I don't know what's happening. They're going to get kidnapped. And so, then I was I had all these dreams, and one dream was someone was trying to take the children in the dream, right? They were all dead. Like, why are these dead people in the dream, Daddy? Taking the baby away. There's a baby involved. This was way before Finn was even a speckle in my eye. What do we call that? Twinkle in your eye? I'm freaking out. You get the picture. All right, he was never going to happen, right? So I was like, I saw him also in a vision. I was like, no, I'm getting an IUD to prevent that from happening. Guess what happened? The IUD fell out like a week before he was conceived. I was like, yeah, Jesus, hello. So meanwhile, I had this dream that the kids were going to get removed, right? I woke up and I was like screaming for my mother, which I had never, ever done. Like, you ever have a nightmare and you wake up and you're like, oh, Mommy. Like, no, that's what happened though. I woke up screaming, Mommy. And I was like, well, hello? And so I like talked to my dad and I was like, there's something really bad gonna happen. And it did. Actually, it really did. And so I was just like, then it happened and the kids got removed. I started having all these psychic dreams and about what was going to happen. I even had a dream about the judge I had never met before. The whole scene, right, came out in a dream before I met him and before I went to court. And I was like, OMG, I'm going crazy. Yes, you are going crazy. So having a psychic gift can cause you to go crazy. I kid you not. If you like go and have a dream and then the next day it comes true and you're like, what? And then you go to sleep again, have a dream, and the next day it comes true, you're going to freaking go crazy. And you're going to go nuts. That's what happened. All right, so I've learned how to manage that gift so I don't go crazy. Well, no, I did go crazy again. No, never mind. No, never mind. I'm still working on that shit. All right, but the point is that I had this beautiful experience with my mom, right? So now I no longer let go that teardrop falling from her eye. I don't question it because she was still here. She was still here. When I died, or whatever, what happened to me in December 2013, and I went over to the other side, nobody was around. I was on the floor having a freaking seizure, just died there. I was an angel there. But my mom, I had this whole experience with her. And she was apparently, dead. Because she died in 2008, and this was 2013. All right, and thank Jesus she was there, because 5 days later, one was finally called freaking 911 and I got me committed. 5 freaking days later, I was still crazy when I got there. But I feel like I got out December 23rd, 2 days before Sky Pie was supposed to come out. That was stressful. That's a story. My whole time in the psych ward on the other side is a goddamn own story. I kid you frick not. I was over on the other side for 7 freaking days, confused as heckalo. Came home December 23rd. Why is it with me and Christmas? I swear, I declare. I gotta stop going over to the other side during Christmas. I don't know what's up with that. But meanwhile, I spent all this time with my mom, right? And angels were there to help me. But I was I got to see the in-between places that you go, right? That's true, right? Catholics believe in that. They believe in purgatory. That's a true freaking place. I kid you frick not, right? So Catholics, purgatory. I think the Mormons believe in something what the heck do they believe? There are 3 different celestial planes or something they believe in. They're different ones. That's freaking true too. I'm telling you, I've been there. This stuff is real, okay? When you die, you don't just cease to freaking exist. You do not. I kid you not. I'm telling you, there are planes, there are different levels of places you have gone to. I have seen one that where somebody was, I could tell you stories about that one. But so I kind of get trapped in the in-between place when I'm in an alternate state of consciousness, which is crazy. But back to my mom. Thank God, she passed over. She's in heaven. Yay. I know. And I love that. I love that our loved ones are, in a great place. You just don't die. But anyway, it's just an interesting concept. Shoot, I'll have to go into this later. It's so, intriguing, right? So when I get trapped over there, sometimes when I have a mental nervous breakdown, right? You're kind of like here and there, and it's not a good place to be. I think I was thinking about this today, my Minny at noon, because I was thinking about Jeff Mallory again and the whole sex club orgy thing. And somehow he crossed my mind because he doesn't believe in God. He doesn't believe in any of that stuff. Life after death, nothing. He's like, well, I hope that when I die, there's nothing, and I'm just dead. I'm done. And I think that's what like enables some people to kind of like live their lives, like just like not, caring about what they do, how they affect other people. They can be murderers and rapists and don't know, but if you don't kind of have that accountability at the end, or with your whole life, right, you don't lead it in that way, you're just kind of living your life for you. You're just like, I don't have to care about what I do or affect others. I can hurt that person and I don't care. I'm just a moralist person, perhaps. Yeah, moralist, Yeah. So I don't know. I try to teach my children that that is not the way to live your life. I think that way is going to end up in unhappiness and relationships and work relationships and just, what about your soul? Don't you believe in that? No? You don't? Anyway. Those are my thoughts today at noon. Just saying, my mom cried a tear and she was clinically brain dead. Okay, I was there. I saw the whole thing. And then she literally defied death to come back as I was screaming for her, that my kids are going to be removed, which I swear, I think that when you pass over, your loved ones see what's going to happen to you, and sometimes they might not leave. I think that might be the whole theory of ghosting, ghosts. The ghosts that you or some people believe in that are hanging around and hanging out because they're not at rest, because they passed over and they're like, oh no, that's going to happen to my, sister or my son or whatever. I'm going to stay here. I'm not really sure if that's what happened with my mom. Maybe she just was like, I see what's going to happen. I'm not going to leave. Because that experience that I had with her when I was passed over on the other side, and God, the angels helped me come back. They actually showed me how to come back. That was an interesting thing. I was trapped over there, actually. And I did not know how to come back to sanity. And the whole 5 days before I got to the hospital was a lesson in how to come back to sanity. And my mom was also there, I guess, helping me to get back to be alive. It's like I said, I was like in a complete serious state of teetering from death to, being alive. And that was like divine intervention. That's the thing. Divine intervention. Okay. So a positive thing for you guys today. Look into that. All right. Angels, divine intervention. That stuff happens. All right. My mom was brain dead. I was a tear. And she cried a tear. She was not gone. Anyway, those are my thoughts today at noon. And until next time, guys. See you soon. The things my mom never told me, or, well, the shit my mom never told me, depending on if I'm drunk or not. Well, so I've been having a really rough time lately. I don't know if you guys have been following or not, but it's been, a little rough. Honestly, somebody the other day said something to me. I did not know this was going to trigger me into a major depression. Honest to God, I did not know it, but it did. And the simple question was, how many children do you have? I am used to saying 6, when Andrew was alive, and even when he was, kidnapped from the hospital when he shot himself. I'd still say 6, even when he turned 18, 19, 20, 6. But now he's passed away, and he, is no longer a young adult. He would be, I don't even think about it. So I have to say 5 now. I have 5 children. But that just triggered so many things within me, and it made me remember that moment when I was trying to decide whether or not to have an abortion. And I struggled so much with that, and I was thinking about that, and I thought about, you know what? My mom, I don't know how, but I was an inquisitive little kid. My dad says I ask questions about everything. So somehow I found out that my mom had an abortion. She did. And I don't think she meant to tell me. I was always asking questions, but apparently she had an abortion because my dad was continuously robbing banks and was always in jail, and she didn't want to have the baby. So she had an abortion. And I found this out, and I thought, was it a boy? Was it a girl? I, for some reason, as a kid, thought, I have a brother or a sister out there, and it's no longer there because mom decided to kill the baby. So I think that when this happened to me in college, when I was raped on a date rape, out with my girlfriend, Katie Girl. Oh, goodness, that's a whole nother story, Katie Girl. I was Sherlock, she was Watson. I believe that. We even made shirts. Yeah, that's another story for another day. Katie Girl. Boy, she took me out. I had my first drink, and I met Daniel. And then the date rape occurred. I did not tell my girlfriends in college. I did not tell them. I came back from break, I believe it was Valentine's Day, and it was great, and I had my first sexual experience, and was not So then a few months later, I got pregnant, and I had that struggle with abortion. I thought, well, this baby's life means something. Why, should I kill this baby? It's a life. It was a struggle. And, I thought back to my mom. I could not tell her what was going on with me, but I thought she must have been going through the same thing. And there was this baby that she felt she could not have, and she had to have an abortion, and Katie Girl had about 3 of them. And I was like, well, hey, I was raped. I don't want to let go of this baby because I got raped, and then I had all these experiences where then I got pregnant unexpectedly, and I'm happy that I chose life. But at the same time, I can appreciate the decision that my mom had to make, because I had to make that. I had to go, wait, I don't have family, money, a house, nothing, a car. I don't have a driver's license. How on earth? And I thought, well, maybe God will provide. Maybe God will give me a way to keep this baby. I don't know. Anyways, I was just thinking about that this week, thinking when someone's like, well, how many kids do you have? I'm like, I want to include Andrew. I really do. And it hurt me because I'm like, oh, I don't care. He's 30, whatever. He's still my baby. I still want to say I have 6. But, so that's my struggle this week. And that's kind of what I'm going through. And anyway, it is interesting because I did ask my dad. I said, hey, what was the gender of the baby that mom let go? A girl? Did I have a sister? Did I have a brother? He didn't know. She doesn't know. But I feel like it's unresolved. So, I don't know. That's kind of the thought I'm going through right now is still grieving. You don't stop grieving. It doesn't go away. And, I don't know. I'm just kind of just out there today. So I just kind of wanted to say hi and let you know where my thoughts are. And until next time, guys. I'll read you soon. so listen to this. Okay, so, my grandmother used to listen to church on the radio, okay? And, like, all the time. Like, it was back in the days when you listened to church on the radio, she couldn't go, right, for whatever reason, so it was on the radio. All right, my mom would take me to the scary Baptist church in Baltimore, Maryland. It was scary because, really, they were, like, speaking in tongues. I don't know if you know that. If you've ever been to a black Christian church, Baptist church, by the way, and they get into that, and they're, like, falling on the floor. I mean, rolling around like they could be having a seizure. They don't know. They ain't having a seizure. I don't know. Look like a goddamn seizure. It's scary because you're a kid and you're like, I don't know. And they're speaking in a different language. And you're like, what? I don't understand what they're saying. What the hell? So I went to, like, and I'm talking about this because I'm up reading Hebrews. Yeah, Hebrews, okay? Hebrews chapter 2 and 3, because I was reading about angels, and because I had this experience with angels, real life experience with angels. All right, I'll get back to that in a minute. Hebrews, interested in Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 2 and 3 talks all about angels. All right, so meanwhile, yes, I went to this church camp. It was called River Valley Ranch, which got me really freaking confused because when I got locked up in the mental ward, like last month or a month ago, whatever it was, I was like living at a place called Crooked River Ranch, right? But then when my brain got all scrambled, I was like, I don't know. I live in a ranch somewhere, River Valley, Crooked. I don't know. The ranch is crooked, wherever it is. There's a river and it's crooked. It was funny as fuck. That's because my brain was mixing up Crooked Valley Ranch, which is in Oregon, with River Valley Ranch, which is a Christian camp I went to in Baltimore, right? And that's where I learned all of the books in the Bible, right? And I'm like a learning disabled child at this point. And nobody knows this, but I used to sit at like the special table. But so they did a song to learn the Bible names, right? And New Testament, I could get that rhyme down. And I was 12, right? I was 12 at this camp. And I fell off a horse. I fell off a dang on horse. Anyway, back to the story. That was funny too. Of course I'm going to fall off a horse. It's Minny. Little Lynette back then. Well, little Lynette was falling everywhere. So anyway, it was like Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and John, Acts, Romans, 2 Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, First Peter, 2 Peter, 3 John, Jude, and Revelation. Look, I have allergies. I can't sing this morning. I don't know if I can throw it's like how. What the fuck? It's like 4 a.m. All right, 4:50. What the frick ever. So I learned all the dang on things, and then it was like Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, and then Joshua, Judges, and something after that, right? And I just gave up because all the books in the Old Testament were confusing for me to pronounce and to remember, and I just blanked out on it. And I was like, I got the New Testament down, isn't that the one that matters? All right. So all these years, right, I've been focusing on, I like the New Testament. That's what I'm going to focus on, And for some reason, because when I had my near-death experience, right, I have been having all of these questions about angels, right? Ever since then, I had a couple near-death experiences, multiples. And my first one with the first angel, where I was at my near-death experience, the angel was freaking scary. And so I was like reading about that in Matthew, right? About after when Mary Magdalene came to the tomb, and there was apparently an angel sitting on the tomb, and I think it was Peter. I was reading that said that the angel was scary of a lightning bolt or something. And it reminded me, I was like, yeah, they are scary, all right, y'all? If you ever die and have a near-death experience or something, you meet an angel or something, they are. All right, their presence is like overwhelming. So in the Bible scripture I was reading, it was like the people saw the angel and they were as if they were dead, or something. Was Paul reading? I can't remember. It's in Matthew when Jesus died, and they came and the angel said Jesus has risen, and they were describing the angel. So then it just reminded me like when I did have my experience, the angel was like, repent, and I was like, repent, what? It was so scary. And then this this last experience I had with the angels was really even more scary, because there was just like, their presence is so freaking, it's powerful. It is not like a cherub or, hey, I got wings here, I flap them around. No, all right, no, it's not like that at all. So then I was like, I want to read more about angels, because I was like, when I was going to church and learning all about Jesus as a child, they're like, oh, you'll have a guardian angel, and then now the Mormons are like, when I was learning the Mormon faith, they're like, oh, you'll have greater access to the Holy Spirit after you're baptized. I'm like, I already have this. I don't need to get baptized. I've been baptized when I was 12. It scared the crap out of me. Again, back to that scary church, that black church, when they're rolling around like seizures, having tongues and stuff. My baptism, right? They like legit like dunk you. I was drowning, all right? I wanted to go in. I was all nervous. They're like, you're getting baptized. Because after I fell off the horse at camp, right? They're like, you have to choose, choose if you want to have Jesus as your savior, right? And I'm like, I do. I memorized all these, Matthew, Mark, and John. I can't remember the Old Testament, but I want to get baptized in that scary church. All right, so then they took me, and like my mom got me all dressed up and everything. I don't know why, because they just want to dunk the crap out of you. And so it's like this pool, like in the church, and everybody's like surrounding you. It felt really loving and everything, but at the same time, I swear, the dunking in that church, I swear it was like too much underwater. I think that's why now I just don't even. I swear for the longest time I was like, I don't even want to learn how to swim. I just learned how to swim on my back. I was like, that works. Look, I can still breathe. I can swim on my back. That works for me. Anyway, that was scary. But yeah, so this morning I was up reading Hebrews, and I was like, you know what? Hebrews chapter 2 and 3 is solely answers like a lot of my questions about angels. If you are interested in that, read Hebrews 2 and 3. You'll be surprised. I'm like, dang it, have I been missing out on Old Testament stuff? I got to start from the beginning. And it was so funny. I was like, yeah, Minny, you need to start from the beginning. Like Genesis. Yeah, that's the beginning. Oh, yeah. Genesis, Exodus. I got to remember it again. Anyway, so those are my thoughts today. If you ever had any questions about angels, they are real. I had not seen them. I would deserve to be in a psych ward if I'd ever claimed to see one. But I have felt their presence, and I can tell you what I feel like. And I have, telepathically communicated with them when I was kind of on the other side. Try to avoid going on the other side, Minnie. Anyway, those are my thoughts today. Up early, reading the Bible. And there's some lovely, insightful things in there, whether you believe in it or not. Great advice. I kid you not. That's why I have my blog. I'm going to start. Even when I retire more, there's a script for that, .org. I'll be spreading my messages, things that I read, scripture-wise on that blog. I'm just busy right now doing a bunch of other blogging and shit. Anyway, this is Minny at 5. I never slept. I think I got like 3 hours or some shit. I'm going to have breakfast now. I need to force feed myself. I'm wasting away to nothingness. All right, you guys. Until next time, this is Minny at 5. See you soon. So you know what? Do you ever get a hug from someone, or you hug someone that you love or you think you love, or it's a friend or someone at church or something, and you don't feel anything, or you freeze, or you panic, and you're like, oh, or you get that feeling, oh my God, someone's touching me. Wait, someone's hugging me. Wait, it's too tight. No, wait, what's happening here? I don't know. All right, so that was my feeling. Like, growing up, I didn't know what that meant. So my mom would take me to church, right? And then I went them with my first experiences, I think older times, like after teenage years, I'd go to church. They were huggy people, okay? And they like go to hug you, or relatives, like my friends, I'd go to their homes a lot because I couldn't go home. I didn't have holidays at home. Like after 12, like things was like crashed out. We didn't have Christmas anymore, like, or Thanksgiving, or like anything actually. So I kind of like spent like all the holidays and things. I had a lot of friends, and my friends' families were awesome. Like legit, like those were all my role models. Like I had like so many different families. I like bounce around from like family to family. But like my favorite family, and she's still my friend on Facebook, and every time it's her birthday, I hope I didn't forget this. I might have, because I think I was locked up. Joya. Oh no, Joy, not Joya. I have a Joya and a Joy. So it's like Joy, Macadori, Dory. And I swear to this day, she's like, every time it's her birthday, I'm like, happy birthday, Joy, Macadori, Dory. And that's like my nickname for her. Like, cause I nickname like everybody who's important to me. Or, they just get a nickname. And she's got one. And so every time it's her birthday, but I gotta tell her this time. I think I was locked up. In the middle war on her birthday. So I don't think I got to say Joy, happy birthday. Anyway, so meanwhile, she was one of the families, and I'd spent Thanksgiving there and holidays and all kinds of stuff, and it was just kind of great. And so I was thinking about that as my memories. I hit pause for a minute by accident. So I was like thinking about her with hugs. Okay, so her family, like I go there for Christmas and Thanksgiving, and then I had another family, my friend Ronette and Jaquetta, their family adopted me too. I spent like holidays with them also. So they were huggy people. My mom never hugged me. I swear, never. Not a hug, not a kiss, nothing. I love you, maybe. I don't know. So, and so I realized that I did not understand like a hug, and then I was molested from the ages of 7 to 12, and then, other things from, 12 to 15, and then things from 15 to 19, and it just kept going. And so I never really developed that intimacy. So when I first had my son at the age of 21, and he turned 2, and I was all huggy with him when he was a baby, but then for some reason I was like, I'm unable to bond. Unable, this baby's trying to hug me, and I have a problem with hugging. And then I learned that it was equated with my issue with having my body violated as a child, being molested. So it's really interesting. So I don't know if there are other reasons where people have like a struggle with hugging, but like when I went to my children, like my sons, I've had 4 sons. And so I noticed like when I hug them, because over the years I've worked on it. I like try to hug them. I'm like, let's hug. Okay, hug it. Even though we're kind of like, we don't feel much because we kind of like, they've had trauma issues too with when they were in foster care. They had a lot of things where their body was violated, their personal space was violated. So I think that if you have a history of your personal space, your body as a child, maybe even as a young adult, where you might have this experience, right? You might not even know or equate it. You just might go to church one day and someone's like all hugging you and you're like, wait, what's wrong with me? Wait, why am I freezing? Like, cause that's what I would do. I instantly freeze. And then I'm just like, please, could they leave? And I just pray silently if they could just like run away. And so like today I was like, I spent like time with my boys, and I love it because we all worked on it. And I think because I've mentioned it to them before, and I think we all know it. So we're just like, okay, we hug. I love you. Okay, yeah, it's hard, it's painful, but I love you. I'm going to force it. So my message like this week, like, is if that's something that you've ever noticed, like it's an intimacy issue. It's something where a hug is meant to kind of really be like, warmth out, like, oh, it's so like, oh, I love you, like, ooh, like you feel like the warmth, the love. Do you feel that when you hug someone? Like, think about that this week. Like, when's the last time you like really hugged someone where you got like that whole like I get that from Finn. Like, I hug my 11-year-old. I just want to hug him all up, all over today. Chloe tries to hug me. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm allergic to you, like severely. Goodbye, go away. But meanwhile, yeah, that's an interesting thing. So yeah, so sometimes, intimacy. And it's something I had to work on. So when I had postpartum depression, I don't know how many moms are out there listening to this, but listen. So I had severe postpartum depression, right? And it does not, I kid you not. They will tell you that it lasts for 12 months, maybe 1 year. Oh, maximum 2 years. Frick, no. Hello. I will tell you that can last longer than 1 year, longer than 2 years, right? You have to work on that if you have a baby and you don't bond with a baby, because sometimes baby did not come home. Was in the hospital a whole month or whatever happened, And so with my Izzy, I learned that I was like, I am not bonding. I can't hug her. I can't even hug, Noah, what the hell? So I had to like figure out what was wrong with me and do like the deep inner, search. And that's how I figured it out. Because I was like, oh yeah, when people hug me at church, I freeze. And so I was like, hey, what's that mean? And so I'm just like, that's how my brain works. I always want to know the why. And that gets me in a lot of goddamn trouble. I think that's why I'm in trouble in court all the time. Because people will like step to me with shit and I'm like, but why? Then they'll tell me their why and I'm like, I don't like your why. And this is why your why should be my why. You don't like your why? Okay, let's argue. Let's litigate your why. Let's go litigate this shit. All right, so that's my problem. But, it's good in a way with me because I, figured out the why as to why I couldn't hug. And now I can hug. Because now I can hug and go, okay, you're still feeling that way, but I'm going to hug it anyway. So I hugged out my boys, and we had a great time. I love that. I want them to get out of the roundabout town. I hate that town. I hate Bend, freaking Oregon. I freaking hate it. I get lost every goddamn on time. But you know what I figured out, guys? Here is a secret. That's what I figured out. My phone over freaking heated. I kid you fuck not. Of course my phone overheated. I'm in the daggone Bend, Oregon desert. And my phone is like, I don't know, 10 years old. Because I'm like, I'm weird. I'm like, I know, it's broken. I should have replaced it like, 3 years ago or some shit. I have like a plan. You just could add phone, add to my bill, right? But I'm like, no, I like this one. Like, I know it's cracked. I broke it like 5 times. I love it though. The screen's not cracked. The camera works. What the fuck? So I'm like, no, if I get a new phone, I'm an artist, right? So I'm one of those weird, quirky, freaking weird artist people where I'm like, okay, I've taken photos with the newer iPhone. I don't like it. I like my old iPhone photos. Okay, kid you fuck not. So if I upgrade, I'm going to be one of those weird freaking artsy people that's like, nope, I want the iPhone, I think it's an iPhone 12 I have. And I think they have like an iPhone 17. And like, I think when I'm like, I don't know, 60, it'll be like iPhone 30. I'll be like, yep, I still got iPhone 12. Takes great pictures. It's called Minnie's art. Hashtag Minnie art. Anyway, those are my thoughts today, but I did have another thing that I wanted to mention to you guys today, but I think I'm going to save it for Minnie at Midnight. It's a really cute story about my mom. I was just thinking about her, it's her last birthday. It was her last birthday. Oh, what a story. And the year before her last birthday, she ended up getting a goddamn DUI. I had a DUI, a federal DUI. Federal. That was an interesting story, too. I got so many goddamn stories. All right, y'all, stay tuned. This is Minnie at 5, and I'll probably do something at midnight, because I don't know, unless I'm asleep, we'll see. And until next time, guys, see you soon. July 17th, 2013. Dissociation. My doctor hurt my feelings today. She overstepped bounds that should be clearly drawn in the lines of the sands of medicine. I left her office wanting to crawl into a hole somewhere and die. Granted, it's easy to do, that is, offend me, come off as perhaps too harsh, too critical. I respond by connecting those hurt feelings with so many hurts of the past, and then before I know it, I'm knee-deep in depression. 10 minutes later, I was walking down the grocery aisle, repeating to myself, please do not cry in the grocery store. Please do not cry in the grocery store. Oh my God, I'm going to be so committed if I cry in the grocery store. And if they call this doctor, who just single-handedly provoked a near meltdown, she'll check me in for sure. On the way home, I needed to drive, not get lost, not forget which street to turn on, not nearly run over the poor pedestrian who, without being run down by me, is having a good day. I needed to focus and drive and not lament over the words that she said to me and over the words that I wished I could have said to her. I hate being labeled with a mental illness. appearing to others as if I am naive and 25, while all the while inside being stuck at 12. Assertive, forceful, self-confident, insistent. I don't often practice being assertive as much as I should. I allow people to speak to me with disrespect. I suck it up when they hurt my feelings with words that are inappropriate. I am professional with others when they overstep their bounds of decency. So today, when this doctor, who was obviously off her MDA game, or quite frankly on her period, started in on me, I just let her go. I hate it when I do that. I hate when I want to tell someone to go fuck him or herself, but I can't because the words are stuck in between pain and fear and drowned to silence by shame. It's confusing to me because when I want to be assertive, I cannot. It's only when I need to do so that I can. Lately, I have been reading old poetry that I haven't seen in over 20 years. So I'm reading this poetry, and it is as though nothing has changed. I am still the same Lynette, but I am so very different. My writing style is as poetic as the day I discovered that I could hide from truth in fiction. I switched between moods and emotions with apparent ease, weaving the intricacies of my thoughts into prose that perhaps only I could understand. I'm reading the old poetry, and my head hurts for her. I so much wish that her childhood could have been different. I wish that she wasn't afraid to go home each day from school. I wish that she didn't have to hide her fear from those closest to her. I wish that someone would have held her and told her that everything was going to be all right. I wish that she didn't have to pretend that she was happy every second, every hour of every day. And finally, I wish that she didn't have to bury the hurt, the sadness, the pain, that which is grief, anger, mourning, bitterness, fear, and shame inside of herself, so that she could dissociate from them all and evolve into this person, that which she now calls me. No, unfortunately, I didn't get to tell this doctor to go fuck herself because I was too busy being a little girl again. And as most little girls do when they feel pain, all I could do was cry. And then I was driving home, and I had to focus on some important task, such as trying to stay alive by not crashing. I had to snap out of it, and I needed to get over it, so I did. All of a sudden, the fiery flames of hurt and pain that this doctor had ignited disappeared as if a magic trick had performed inside my brain. I thought, so this is what I have been doing all of these years? I am constantly amazed at the complexities of my wacky brain. Geesh. Now I am starting to sound like I do need medication, LOL. So, yes, I can be assertive, but only when I need to be. I can tell people to go fuck themselves if I need to do so, and if it serves a purpose only I could know. I can tell myself to snap out of it because I need to be responsible. I can be professional and bite my tongue if I need to preserve a relationship, or, more importantly, maintain the appearance of sanity. But at the same time, there lies within an uncontrollable madness just below the surface, begging to be set free by fury on any given day. I do my best to stay afloat, but it's hard to judge the change in the tides of the ocean, that which I named Minny. Oh my God, my appetite is back. I am freaking happy. Well, here, listen to this. All right, so I have stage 4 liver cirrhosis. It's terminal, right? It's done. It's got like a liver stiffness of over 13 or something. It's bad. It's not good at all. I need a new liver. But listen to this. So yeah, that's a digestive organ. So you lose your appetite. Well, of course, dying. Your body's shutting down. So it's like, we don't want to eat. And my pancreas, that too, digestive organ, right? Affects appetite. I'm like, what the frick? I can't eat. So for like the past, it started in like 2020. Yeah. And so I could not freaking have zero appetite. None whatsoever, right? I'd go to a steakhouse. I went to freaking Maui. I could only eat things there that a special chef prepared, right? And that's the only thing, right? But now I was like, what the heck? Am I getting better? Or I don't freaking know what's happening. So I ordered from the Outback last night, and it was so freaking yummy. And I had like a yummy McDonald's burger the other day, which I haven't been able to eat a burger, I don't know, like 2 years or some shit. No, maybe a year. I was eating those little tiny little slider burgers like a year ago. Well, whatever. Anyway, so I was thinking about appetite and how mine's back. I'm great. And then somehow it turned into sexual appetite. I know, right? I've been celibate, for a while here. So I was like thinking about my ex-husband, Jeff Mallory, and I was like, hey, why do I want to have sex with him like every single day? I kid you frick not. Every damn day, right? I was just like, anywhere, any place, anytime, every goddamn day. I think we missed like one day out of like 2.5 years or something being together. And I was like, what the fuck happened here? Like, we missed a day. What, are you cheating? He kind of did, but that wasn't the reason. I don't know what the reason was, but yeah. So I was like, what is up? Because when I was with the ex-boyfriend Dominic, fake boyfriend, that wasn't really a boyfriend. We went to Hawaii for 14 days, had sex like once, I think, maybe twice or some shit. So, and then we'd see each other I don't know, we'd spend a weekend together or a day or whatever. It was like a bullshit relationship, but I didn't care, right? It's like I did not need to have sex with that man. I did not care if it was every day or every 3 months or some shit. And I was like, oh my MG, that is so intriguing. And husband number 1 was like, let's just have sex because I want to have a baby. And so it was like, I would plan the sex. I'd plan down to the genders of those babies. I was like, here, this is what I want at this point. I want a boy. I'm going to plan that. I know when I'll be like, oh wait, now I want a girl. Let me plan that. And so I'd only freaking have sex with that man. Kid you frick not. After the first year, 2 years we were together, it was only baby specific, even down to Finn. I was like, let's see. I know I'm 40. I think I can plan that one too. I tried to. But so meanwhile, sexual appetite, right, is intriguing because I always heard that when women get older, right, in their 40s or 50s, they stop wanting to have sex. I swear, where did I hormones, menopause, or whatever, and I read about it and I've heard it in my whatever over the years that women let themselves go and they're just not, their sexual appetite's gone. And for men, I don't know, what's it for men? It's changed when they're 60. I have not looked into it because I haven't been with a 65, 70-year-old fine. Talking to my ex-husband Lon, who's 69. He sounds like he has no sexual drive whatsoever, at all anymore. But mine's still active. I guess it just depends on who I am with. because I don't know, but my Jeffrey Mallory just was, and I was talking to my friend Ronetta when I first got together with Jeff, right? And before Jeff, I had this boyfriend Phil, and that too was just like, well, whenever I see it, I will have sex, yeah. Oh my MG, some cool story about my first time having sex in the car. Because I did not grow up that way. I was a virgin for the longest time, and then I was married. But meanwhile, Phil and I had sex in a car. It was such a oh my gosh, this is a cool story. So, oh my god, I get off track, but it's unscripted. Just go with it. Okay, listen to this freaking story. Okay, so it was like what the heck was it? Because it was Halloween, and we were dressing up, and was that a Christmas ugly sweater part? Oh, fricka frack whatevers. I think we had sex in the car the first time. It was so fun. We did it again. So 2 different holidays. All right. So it was that's what it was. It was Halloween, a party, and then the next one was after the ugly Christmas sweater party. So yeah, 2 sex in the car scenes. But so meanwhile, I was not that teenager. I was not that 20. I was married, I had a baby at 20. I was pregnant, 8 months pregnant on my 21st birthday. So I missed out on the whole, college fun thing that they all did for everybody who turned 21. And I was like, well, I can't do that because I'm 8 months pregnant. So I was having a baby shower instead. Except my baby shower got, canceled because I went into preterm labor. Oh, Jesus gosh. Okay, back to the Halloween car story. Listen to this. Is so funny. Okay, so meanwhile, Phil and I are older. I was 40, I don't know, 40 or something, and he's 7 years older or something. I don't know, 50s. And I don't think he'd ever had sex in a car either, right? So it's at night. Actually, the most fun part was the Christmas part. It was a ugly Christmas sweater, okay? And his had bells on it. It was so funny. Or mine had, whatever. We were belling it up. So we were driving around. Okay, Frederick, Maryland, and he loved to look at the Christmas lights and all of it. He is a weird, quirky. I hate meeting these quirky guys. I mean, Jeff Mallory liked to go look at antiques and things at those Goodwill stores and shit. And so Phil loved to look at the Christmas lights. Let's drive around, Minny. Okay, all right, let's drive around. Look at all the Christmas decorations they put up all over Baker Park in Frederick, Maryland, and all around the little neighborhoods near Baker Park in Frederick, Maryland. Okay, and then I was like, hey, let's park right there. What? And so we park on the side of the street. And it was so fun. And we're at first it was in the front seat because I'm so little. I was I can just be whipping all around in some little car. And front seat was fun. Then somehow we got in the back seat. And then it was so fun. It was just adult fun stuff. Okay. But we were little teenagers. Enjoying this fun. So I don't know. I was just thinking about that today when I was thinking about appetite. And it was just and then after that, we both had an appetite to do it again. So that's kind of where this was going. But yeah, I don't know. I'm craving ice cream. And I got to tell you, this is my tip today. All right. Minny at noon for, my East Coast peeps. It's noon there. 9 o'clock in the morning here, right? And Tillamook, okay? Tillamook, Tillamook, ice cream bars and Tillamook ice cream. They make it here in Oregon. I think it's Tillamook, Oregon. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It is the best freaking ice cream. Love, love, love. So I have an appetite back and I'm about to go and I gotta go buy new ones. They're on sale. Those Tillamook yum yum creamy ice cream bars. That's on my plan today. Appetite's back. Anyway, yeah, I totally got off track. I was talking about food, started talking about sex, then started talking about sex in the car, and I don't even know what the hell. See, this is what happens when you don't sleep, people, okay? I didn't sleep. I mean, I think I got some sleep last night, but my freaking lupus is flared up. My lupus is all flared up all over the motherfucking place. Plus, I was having chest pain. I had a heart attack yesterday. I even have these little freaking heart things. Last time I had my heart attack, last year, I did not even know I was getting a heart attack until I got there and they tested my troponin level, which was through the roof. It was I was huh? I was I know I feel like crap. I got this chest pain. They're oh yeah, that's a heart attack. Yeah, we gotta do a, angioplasty or some crap they did where they put a thing through your wrist and they can look at your heart through that way. All right, so don't fucking trust those EEGs, EKGs, the E whatever G's. All right, that they do on your heart and the ER. Bullshit. All right, that's another tip for y'all today. And did you know what? Depending on who dang on does the EKG and their skills, they can mess it up. So you can go to the ER and be like, I have chest pain. You could be freaking having a heart attack, right? They can fuck it up. And did they go through your wrist and check it and look at your heart function? No. And so meanwhile, yesterday I was like, oh no, I don't have this again because I have broken heart syndrome. I'm not surprised I have broken heart syndrome. My heart's been broken into a million pieces like a million freaking times. But I took my nitroglycerin twice, 2 doses, and I went to take a nap, woke up, and I guess I'm feeling better. So that's my tip, y'all. If y'all have chest pain, continuing chest pain, and you go to the ER and they do that stupid bullshit test, and I'm like, yeah, fine. Nuh-uh. Sometimes it's be like abnormal as fudge, and they're not telling you. You have to go to the cardiologist, and you gotta get that shit worked out, or you're gonna just drop dead, and nobody cared. I care. Anyway, this is Minny at noon, and until next time, guys, see you soon. Oh my God, I have the worst luck with female doctors. I mean, I'll die first, you bitch. You're not even a real fucking doctor. Just saying. So, I'm the one dying here, and I told her, I've been me for 52 years, and you just met me, bitch. Like, for what, 15 minutes? And you're gonna tell me my whole life story, tell me about my liver, and tell me about my liver biopsy reports that you haven't even seen copies of, right? Oh, bitch, please. Okay, so that's how my doctor's visit went today. One of those virtual telemedicine visits with my GI doctor that I desperately need. I kid you not. My last GI doctor, that fucking bitch too. What the fuck is that with me and female doctors? Fuck, wait, I don't have a good history with male doctors. Okay, what the fuck ever. Fucking doctors and me, I don't know what the fuck is up with them and me, but literally, like, stop. Like, here's what happened, right? First GI doctor, right? I'm critical condition. I had a coma, like a fucking coma, 4 fucking days, coma. Like, it was horrible. I woke up in the ICU with nurses feeding me a tube up down my throat. Like, what the hell? There's a tube in my throat. Like, hello? What the hell? Seeing my 2 boys there, it's a traumatic experience, right? So I go through this whole process. I have this GI doctor, Sarah, Stanford, I don't know, fucking Sarah S, whatever. And I ask her questions about my liver and how does this impact me? I need to get on a liver transplant list. And you know me, I'm inquisitive. My dad was like, you were so inquisitive, you would not shut up as a baby. I swear, kid you not, to this day. Swear to God, that man still says, you spoke in full sentences at 9 months, and you had questions. You drove everybody in the house crazy. And yeah, that's just fucking who I am. I was born that way. Like, really, ask the man. He's like 70. So, wait, 72. Okay, so whatever. So I asked her a bunch of questions, and she fired me. Your doctor, by the way, should not be able to dump you. As a patient, if you have questions and you're like, hey doctor, I have a question about this and that, and they're just like, well, I don't like this patient, you're fired. And I had nowhere else to go. So then I was dumped and I didn't have a GI doctor, right? So then I moved to Ben, which by the way, did not treat me nicely. That's why there's buybenbuy.com. You just wait till that fucking shit comes up in my blog. I'm going to tell you all about those fuckers. All right. So meanwhile, I meet this other GI doctor who I just, that fucking kind. I'm sorry. Hey, I never use that word, but I swear to fucking God, she pissed me off. I'm triggered as fuck. Okay. I'm triggered. Usually I do not use these words. I swear I don't. But this visit with her, right? And she knows the situation I am. She knows it looks like I could have pancreatic cancer. She knows I'm high risk for liver cancer because I'm stage 4 terminal illness. I was a hospice patient. I got off of hospice voluntarily, but I'm a freaking hospice patient, right? That means that give you like 6 months to live. It's a terminal freaking illness. I don't care if they call it alcoholic cirrhosis, autoimmune hepatitis, whatever is what we were arguing about. She's like, well, your liver biopsy didn't show autoimmune. I'm like, bitch, like, dude, it didn't show it because they didn't test for it. They tested for iron overload, which I had on my last MRI because I have hemochromatosis, which I was trying to explain to her too, and celiac disease. So then she started to get into this whole thing about celiac disease, which I think that's what triggered me. I swear that's why she got called the C word just now, because this was a race thing. Okay, listen to this race thing. This bothered me. So back in like 2022, I went to this doctor. I was having all these problems with my GI system. I was eating bagels at the law firm because they had like free bagels. Freaking, they were Jewish bagels. They were so freaking yummy. I started eating those bagels like crazy, like every freaking Friday. I was like, free Friday bagel? I'm up for that. I have 2. And then I started like getting all these tummy issues, right? And I went to this GI doctor, and I was like, oh great, I like him, you know. And I was like, what? Do you think about celiac disease? Because I had a friend who has celiac disease, and she's got these same symptoms. And he was like, no, Minny, you're black. Black people do not get celiac disease. And I was like, huh? What? Are you sure? And I was like, but okay. So then we did like an EGD, and we looked into my intestines, and they were like, yeah, this looks all messed up. It's like inflamed and angry. And I'm like, see, right? And I was like, can you do a blood test? And so they did a blood test, and it came back positive on the antibodies. And they were like, well, I don't know. Yeah. And he was like, I think you have celiac disease, but I don't know. I think you do. And I was like, can you like be sure? So you did the blood test. Is there a genetics? Is there a DNA test? Like I was like Googling. He's like, well, yeah, there is a DNA test. And he ran it, and it came back positive for one of the alleles. I can't remember which one it was. Positive on the DNA. So I have the GI thing where they went and looked at my intestines. It was all messed up. And the blood test, that was all messed up off too. And then the DNA test. So that's 3 here, bitch. Okay, so I'm talking to her, and she doesn't know my history. That's what I'm like. I get mad at doctors. Because I'm like, you don't have this report from that hospital, that doctor in Frederick, that doctor at Baltimore, that doctor in, Cold Beach or wherever I was. And then we started talking about my autoimmune hepatitis, right? And she's like, well, that didn't show up on the liver biopsy. I'm like, do you have the report from Johns Hopkins where my autobody immune came off the charts for autoimmune hepatitis? And by the way, she doesn't have my mom's autopsy and my mom's alleles, and my mom had hemochromatosis, and my mom had all this stuff that I had. And it's like, okay. So I get really upset when I talk to these doctors, and I just get so freaking triggered. And then I'm like, she's not even a doctor. She's a nurse practitioner. So I get all upset and mad, right? And this is what you guys will happen. You really need to research. Who are you talking to? Who? What are their credentials, right? Like, you think you're talking to somebody about your heart attack or your DNA autoimmune test results or some shit. Did they even look at your records from the last doctor you were at? Did they look at all your records? Are they just like looking at you and just like going, I really want to be at lunch right now. I don't have time for this patient. No, right? And is it a nurse practitioner or is it an MD? I kid you fuck not. Is it an MD or is it like a DO? Okay, that's a doctor of osteopathy. A doctor of what the fuck ever. I don't know. I had a DO. I liked him. But guess what? He was incompetent as fuck. Okay? Sorry. But sometimes that happens. They go through these extra training for a reason. They get specialty degrees for a reason. It takes them long hours, extensive training for a freaking reason. Okay? So if you have a specialist issue like I do, what the fuck am I doing talking to a nurse fucking practitioner? Fuck her. All right? So I'll die first. That's how I feel. I'm like, I'll just die because she refuses to like send me referrals. She refuses now to send my biopsy off. She refuses to even run a simple blood test for pancreatic cancer because my pancreatic duct is like 3-4 times the size it should be. It's like, obviously there's a tumor in there. Like 4 different radiologists said, emergency, hello, this woman looks like she has pancreatic cancer. So I'm like, look, Tawny, nurse practitioner in Bend, Oregon at Summit Health, you fucking bitch. I have pancreatic cancer, probably, maybe not. Does it hurt you to run the CA19, whatever test it was, a blood test? It's a simple blood test, honey. She's like, well, I don't want to run a blood test. Are you fucking kidding me? Doctors run blood tests all day long. It costs nothing for them. And I said, Tawny, I'm sorry. How does this hurt you to not run this one simple blood test? Because I can't make it to my EGD, apparently. I can't get a biopsy like I'm supposed to because I moved and I'm in between doctors. But you, Tawny, my current doctor, can run this simple blood test to see if it's a cancer marker. And guys, they have blood tests out there. Just like if you have parents and you're women and your mother had breast cancer or your sister had breast cancer, they run a simple blood test to see if you have a genetic marker for that breast cancer. They can do that. And that's what I was telling her to do. I'm like, run the pancreatic cancer marker test, because my pancreatic duct is 9 millimeters. It's supposed to be less than 3 millimeters. And it continues to be enlarged over like a shockingly quick time. It literally just developed like within the last couple months. It wasn't there a year ago. No, it wasn't. It's fast growing, Tawny. And so I literally got so pissed. I said, good fucking bye, and hung up on her and ended the telemedicine call. So I guess I'll just die. That's my day. And that's Minnie at noon. Until next time, guys. Hope to see you soon. So you know what? I swear, I'm like so triggered with my son's case suing the state of Oregon, Frank v. ODHS, right? Those motherfuckers, okay? The state of Oregon has a messed up foster care system. Everybody freaking knows it. Just fucking Google it, right? Wyatt v. Kotek. Big, huge case, right? State of Oregon, Tina Kotek, blah, blah, yeah. Okay, so this is like near and dear to me because, yeah, we were the Dr. Phil family. Okay, imagine this, right? Just imagine this for 1 minute, right? Your son shoots himself in the chest. You're like right there. See the whole thing? You're there. Hear a gunshot. Your son shot himself in the fucking chest. He's 17. You're just right there. And right minutes before he did it, he like literally spoke to me right before he shot himself. And I will never forgive myself. I swear, for years I thought, in that one instant, that one fucking minute, Minnie, that one goddamn minute, right before he went to the bedroom and shot himself, could you have stopped him? I don't fucking know. But I'm goddamn triggered right now. Because, you know, the state of Oregon foster care system is messed up. My daughter was raped in foster care, okay? My son was sexually molested and abused in foster care, and my other son was physically abused and also sexually, molested in foster care with these people. Abram Gilliam, yeah, ABRAHMGILLIAM, and if I fucking see this man, I'm gonna fucking kill him. I'm sorry, I don't goddamn fucking care. I fucking will. I swear to God, I don't care if he's bigger than me. I will fucking try to fucking kill him. It will be like in an episode somewhere, Minnie goes to jail. And you know why Minnie's gonna fucking go to jail? Because if I fucking see this motherfucker at a court hearing, I swear, it will be a bad thing. Because he hurt my daughter, he hurt my children, he hurt my boys and my daughter horribly for years. In this state, let him out in 2 years? No. Yeah, he got indicted on 17 counts of rape and sodomy of children. Okay? And then they're like, oh, we don't have enough evidence and we're gonna let him go free. Right? And now he's answering bullshit in the court, and I'm just gonna snap. I am literally feeling myself like I'm gonna fucking snap, and this man's gonna fucking die. I swear to God. If I see him, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be like, Minnie goes to jail. Minnie assaulted somebody. Well, Minnie probably got like really injured trying to kill his big ass motherfucker, but she's in jail. What the fuck ever. Alright, so I have to calm down. That's what I'm trying to do. Like, that's what I'm doing, like, today. Because I'm just like, girl, you had this horrible, like, thing with your doctor yesterday. Snapped on her bitch ass. And you're just like, bye fucking, good fucking bye, Tawny. Like, we're done. And I think, like, there was a letter on my portal or some shit. She probably, like, fired me, too. And I haven't even read it. I'm like, look, bitch, I can see there's a letter on my patient portal. It's probably about that yesterday fucking telemedicine visit we had where I told her to basically go fuck herself. Yeah. Anyway. So I'm just really frustrated. And so I've been posting things about DID, dissociative identity disorder. And that's a thing, right? It's very, very intriguing. Okay, so when I'm trying to talk about it, I want to tell people it's not scary. And when I watch things, they're always like, it's not like Split the movie. No, it's not like, fuck you. Yes, it can be. Fuck you. Okay, don't listen to those motherfuckers. Okay, so I have had scary fucking alters take over my fucking body and do shit that I was like, what the fuck happened here? I'm watching it and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, no. It can be like the movie Split. Fuck these people. They're trying to sugarcoat this disease. This is a disorder. Okay. No. Yeah. No. So when I say that motherfucker might die, he might fucking die. Because I don't know who the fuck's going to take over and murder his ass. Ass. What the fuck ever. You know what I'm saying? Ass. But yeah, we hope that doesn't happen. Yeah. So thank God for, webinars and Zoom for court. Thank Jesus for that. He can show up anonymously on a fucking telephone call and hide the fuck out. But I better not see the motherfucker because he raped my daughter. So I'm sorry. I'm never going to get over that. Ever fucking and never. So as I was saying about DID, and yes, you can have alters so because of severe childhood trauma, and I honestly believe it really has to be severe because then you have to go into, well, that person may have PTSD, which is really distinct from DID. So I was diagnosed with complex PTSD, which is really fucking bad in itself because that means you've had like more than one, more than two, more than three possibly severe experiences in your life where you felt like you were going to die or somebody died or you just watched something so freaking traumatic it just wrecked you and you keep running back into that whole moment and you're triggered. That is different from DID. So how I knew I had DID, as opposed to what they were trying to label me with, which was BPD and bipolar, was I lost an entire year of 1999. And plus I already knew as a child that there was somebody else there. That was not me. And I wrote a poem about it in 1991. But I lost the entire year of 1999 when I had my first daughter. I was like, doctors, I can't remember her first words. I can't remember her first steps. I can't remember fucking jack shit from 1999, right? It's gone. The whole fucking year is wiped out. And none of the doctors would tell me. They were just like, well, you're bipolar. Maybe it was mania. I'm like, no, fuck you. I don't remember nothing. Not a goddamn thing, man. The baby was born and it's, you're gone. No memories. I got like bits and pieces of her first year, right? And so that's the difference. So if you ever have a question about like your diagnosis or you're thinking about it, for DID, amnesia is a big clue, Like 2 months ago, I apparently went to the ER. I have no recollection. I was driving, I blanked out and was in Portland. No freaking member. And it's not for me. I don't have, thank Jesus, I don't like do things that are out of character. For me, I'm still in character. I'm still me. I'm just a little lost and confused. Me. I'm lost. Like, what the fuck? Why did I get here? What the fuck are my keys? I mean, that's a thank Jesus. I mean, so if you like look at some of these adaptations on the movies or something, they're like in bed with somebody. I'm like, thank you, God, that isn't me. So mine is like, I'm always in character. I'm still me. I'm still Minny. I'm Lynette Minny. LM. But that's what, I'm called now. LM, loophole Minny, Lynette Minny, same thing. But anyway, yeah. So as I'm posting things, don't get confused. I'm not like equating myself with severe people. Like that one woman has like 2,600 personalities, right? I was like, what the fuck? This could be worse. The fuck? I'm already bad. I think I got like 5 of them in there. I mean, I had like a new alter develop actually. And I call her 5 actually. And then I have a faith. So I have a faith and a 5. So that's an extra 2. That just kind of erupted here with my last mental ward experience. And I keep 5 at bay because that's a little child. So that's a little 12's already there as a little. And now I have faith. I got to keep muzzle because she almost killed us, in May. So that was bad. More in my book about that. It's in the book. All right, it's in the book. I'm writing a new mood journal, guys. I have the infamous mood journal that was on, Dr. Phil. Featured partially on Dr. Phil. I took it down for a minute. I'm going to be ramping up my blog, and god dang it, Southern's coming out. So I also have a Southern. So that comes out sometimes too. Very intriguing, interesting. But anyway, you'll see things, hashtag Minnie's DID journey. It's not like I'm one of those crazy people that's got like 2,600 alters, or I don't call them out on cue and go, hey, come talk to me, new alter. It's not like that. I'm completely, partially merged into one person. I just have alters and I keep them at bay. So unless somebody fucks with me, and then that's a scary alter that I don't even want to talk about. So good luck with that guy. Or her, what the fuck ever. It's so wrapped up, I call it war. That's war there. So that's an altar that I call war. Neither feminine, neither male. It's just war. It's probably, I don't even know. So that's why DID is complex, because you can have moods, you can have, I guess they call them fragments or whatever, and then you have your, I just have the original two, me, just Minny and LM. That's it. One person with a, number 12. Anyway, more on this later if you guys want to know, but there's tons of information on YouTube about DID, I see, but a lot of different, they are just different for me. I'm thankful that mine isn't as dramatic. I've had it under control since childhood, basically. Because I noticed it and I was like, what the fuck? Hello? What's going on here? There's more than one in me. There's more. There's something else there. And I was like, now we gotta figure this out. And then in my 20s, it was bad because I had suicidal ideation, like a lot. And I think that was like each other trying to kill themselves off and trying to kill me. 30s wasn't fun either at all. And then Jesus, 40 was like the year of, divine intervention. So at the age of 40, I had divine intervention. Had a dang on seizure. Went to the other side. Had angels come and help me and shit. And so now I'm good. But now I'm actually a work in progress, but it's a fun work in progress. I think it's, Anyway, this is Minny at Noon, and stay tuned. There are just so many interesting things coming out. It might be helping you too. You listen to me, you might find something helpful. We'll see. Anyway, this is Minny at Noon. Until next time, guys. See you soon. So you know what? I am really depressed again. I guess I'm thinking about my son when he shot himself, and I was wondering, did he know that his sister was raped before he killed himself? And I believe he did, on purpose. So when I got the phone call, first of all, he survived shooting himself in the chest. That was, thank you, Jesus, a miracle. Because it was 2 inches from his heart. And I'm grateful that he survived, but then he got kidnapped from the hospital. That was a lawsuit, and that ended us up on the Dr. Phil show, because I was so freaking mad. I spent day and night trying to get attention to that case, in which I did. And that's a story. So I'm sitting here remembering everything, and it's just a tragic story, because my son and I ended up on the Dr. Phil show to talk about my accusations that he was kidnapped from the hospital after he shot himself by his bio dad. And then we went on this whole years-long thing where he then said, well, they're horrible parents and shouldn't have their kids, me and my husband Lon at the time. And that was the whole Dr. Phil thing. And I guess it's just because I just posted my talk with Dr. Sophie on my Facebook page. He was Paris Hilton's psychiatrist, actually, also, which I don't know if y'all generation know Paris Hilton, but the Hiltons are, important people. And back in the day, they own a, hotel chain called, Hilton. And so he was my psychiatrist for a while when I was on Dr. Phil. Hold on, I can't find my dang on cup, and I'm kind of getting a drink here. I'm a little poor thing. So meanwhile, I know, look, this is unscripted. This is like a spur of the moment goddamn on thing, because I was sitting here crying about my son, thinking about my daughter, because I'm in this case with my son with the state of Oregon, with the foster dad, who is a rapist, alleged, he is, claiming innocence, although he was in jail for 2 years, 16 counts of rape and sodomy and child molestation of foster children in the foster home, and the prosecutor who said, well, they would not have indicted him if they didn't have, their secret indictment. It was a secret indictment. I don't even know what that means. I guess it means it's, Minny, it's secret. What the fuck ever. And so, meanwhile, I'm sitting around thinking about this, and I'm trying not to lament, but mourning is a thing, guys, You can't just, shut it off, okay? So somebody you loved died, right? If you find yourself freaking crying about him and thinking about them and just don't go, oh my God, that was 10 years ago or some shit. It doesn't freaking matter, especially when it's your child. It doesn't freaking matter. All right. It comes up. It just whacks you over the freaking head. And you're like, what the fuck? I'm underwater here. I'm drowning in goddamn grief and tears right now. So the thing about the Dr. Phil show he went on, it was about my daughter, where my son was like, he was abused, which he was. We were all abused by each other. And my ex-husband was a fucking mean bastard. Still fucking is. I don't know. He's pushing 70 and still fucking, I don't know. He might have changed. What the fuck ever, I digress. So meanwhile, so we go on the show. My kids get taken away because my son exaggerates the shit out of things. Like, said he was starved. Well, that kid was never starved, right? And then slept in a tent for months. Okay, Lon put him in a tent in the rain for like a day or some shit. I was like, Lon, put him in the motorhome. The motorhome was luxurious and lovely, right? That's not homelessness, right? They're fucking right there. 2 feet in the freaking yard in a motorhome on a freaking 40-acre parcel, right? And so he exaggerated shit, but he was abused. The abuse was horrific. And then he testified in court about things that were just, that my daughter was not a closet baby. There was no abuse. I did not pinch her, none of that shit happened. Okay, so the producers kind of, I think, got him to exaggerate shit. And then it turned into this nightmare because child welfare was like, well, if that already happened and she locked the baby in the closet, well, fucking never happens, right? I'm like, what the fuck? They just thought closet baby was a great, like, that's like advertisement. That's like, yeah, closet baby. Like, fuck you people, you fuckers. And they made like a ton of money off those episodes. Like, it was season 12 and it was like the most popular episode, the only one where Robin and Phil walked Andrew off the fucking stage or some fucking bullshit promotional shit. It was like, you guys blew this shit the fuck up. Meanwhile, my son here, my poor son's hurting because he's put in the middle of, I'm on national TV, right? Telling the world that my mom and my dad did this, and then their kids get taken, my siblings. And then he tried to get my daughter back, Izzy, right? For years. Could not get her back. And I'm like wondering, meanwhile, she's getting raped by foster dad, right? I'm not going to fucking allegedly say it because her name's on the fucking docket and he fucking did it. He fucking raped my daughter. So fuck you, Abe. Yeah, you raped my daughter. I will fucking kill you if I see you. I hope I don't. So meanwhile, back to the story. So I'm like, Jesus, did my son know? Did he find out? Because I didn't find out about this thing with Abe. And my daughter in foster care with the whole raping of the children in foster care in the home until 2021. My son died in 2020. And that's when I killed my pancreas, but for good. Yeah, it was me. It was me or the pancreas, man. It was like, which one gonna go? I don't know. Who cares? Me and the pancreas gonna die after I heard my son died. So I could not deal with that shit. That was too fucking much. I needed alcohol. And Jeff and Mallory, they worked together to save me from, dying. And so meanwhile, I'm like, when he died, because he had a bunch of drugs in his system, fentanyl and a bunch of things I couldn't pronounce. And I got the autopsy and I was like, what the frick? And it was like October 2020. I just looked at the damn dates. This is why I'm fucking triggered. This is why you guys got this podcast, motherfuckers. I'm sorry, not you in a bad way, but good motherfuckers. Listen to this. Abe, right? His birthday is October 28th, 1974, right? And I'm like, that date sounds kind of fucking familiar. I look at the frick up, right? And I'm like, my son died 2 days before Abe's birthday. The man who, I'm sure if my son knew that had happened, because he was supporting that man. He was supporting that family. My son would be rolling over in his grave if he found out that man was raping his sister. And then he was trying to keep his sister away from his mother, who apparently there would be no rape happening in my home. And I was like, you know what? And then my dad's birthday is like 2 days after Abe's birthday. I'm like, why are this all connected? Like a 3? What the fuck? And so I was wondering, I'm like, did my son find out? Because I did not know what was happening in that foster home, but my son was intimately involved, right? With child welfare and the caseworker, Carrie Burson Rich, you bitch. That's her nickname now. I'm sorry, it happens to rhyme. Whatever. And so I'm like, looking at the case records. And at one time, freaking Carrie Rich, you bitch, sat down and said that, first of all, they blamed my son Noah on abusing his sister sexually. And then I read in the case records that they blame my son Andrew. That fucking never happened. For sexually molesting her when it was foster dad. Foster dad raped her. She got in that cat home at 6.5 years old, guys. 6 and a half. Okay? And then she stayed there and then her teens, and he took her to a casino when she was 14. The state filed a restraining order against foster dad. Abram Gillian. Birthday 10/28/1974. That's you, motherfucker. Called you out. You guilty. Yeah. It's on public record. Go ahead. Fucking sue me. So, meanwhile, I'm sitting here going, did my son know? Did he find out? And was he wrecked with grief? Was he wrecked with, oh my God, I supported my sister being in this foster home for years. My son, legitimately went against me in court and was like, I don't want her to have these kids. What if he found out before he died, right? Of this drug overdose, this fentanyl and all this other shit he had in his system. And it was on purpose. It was on, during COVID, and he was depressed and he was, had substance issues, but an attempted suicide before when he shot himself in the damn chest. So I'm kind of pissed. I'm kind of going through this. And I'm like, you know what? It would make me even more mad if I knew that my son found out too. Just like when I found out about my daughter's rape. It was 2021. And my son had just died actually October 2020. So I'm like making a connection and I'm just mad. And I was like, you know what? Stop. This is grief. This is mourning. Don't go there. So what if he did know, Minnie? What if he did know? What if he found out that his sister was raped in foster care and he couldn't take it and he just took a bunch of fucking fentanyl and drugs and just overdosed on purpose, like when he shot himself? What the fuck if? Grief is grief. Crushing is crushing. I have been there. I have tried to kill myself so many fucking times and God won't fucking let me die. I took 20 freaking milligrams of Seroquel because they were prescribing them back in 1999. Like my dose was 1,000 milligrams of Seroquel a day. And I saved all that shit up. I took I should have fucking died then. I probably did. Keep coming back, goddamn it. So I was like, grief is grief. So in his moment, whatever the moment, what it was, he suffered for years with depression, with severe clinical depression. And that in itself is just, it's sad. And that's kind of what I'm walking away with today. My message is, if you guys are struggling for whatever the reason is with depression, it doesn't matter. So I was mourning and crying, thinking about my daughter and what happened to her. And I was like, what if he knew this? And what if that? And I was like, you know what, Minnie, stop. It doesn't matter what the reason was. His clinical depression, that's clinical depression. It's crushing. It's painful. It's deep. No matter why you're taking those pills, I took a whole pile one time. I built a mountain of pills and swallowed all those fuckers. That's probably why my liver's damaged too. It doesn't matter. At that moment you're in pain and he's suffering. But now he's at peace. And I know that because he said goodbye to me the morning of his funeral. He was dead. He said goodbye. So he's at peace. He's in heaven. And that's what I hold on to. Not the sadness. Not that, let me get stuck in this hole of, oh my God, let me drink some alcohol and just grief. Because that's what I used to do in my 20s and my 30s. I'd get depressed and sad. And that's your reason to drink. That's your reason to do drugs. Or that's your reason to gamble or whatever. And I learned how to pull myself out of that, snap out of it. I'm like, nope, you're getting stuck in a trap. It's fine. Objectively pull your shit the fuck out. Pull your shit up out of that fucking shit, Minnie, right fuck now. And so I'm gonna go watch this Breaking Amish is pretty fucking cool. They left the Amish and they're in Miami, and then one of them, she's in Puerto Rico, reconnecting with her family, which is freaking cool. And then everybody's freaking out, and this other Amish girl who had this hair all the way down to past her buttocks, she chopped it off. She's amazing. So I'm that's my distraction. There you go, Minnie. There you go. So I'm gonna go do that. So this is Minnie at 3. And until next time, guys. See you soon. Well, I hope I don't kill anybody before I see you soon next time. But Minnie at 3. See you soon. So you know what? I was having a really good day. And then something happened. As it usually does in Minnie's world. I posted that photo of my son, Andrew, and sent it to my ex-husband, who actually did it, who hit him upside the head, and it wasn't the first time, and made him bloody for no damn reason that particular day. Andrew was toyfully playing with a pair of shoes. You know how sometimes you go driving around and you see a tree with a bunch of shoes on it, right? So Andrew thought that would be a really cute thing. He took a pair of shoes and he threw it on the tree in our backyard in Bend, when we lived in Bend, Oregon. And it landed right on the tree. And he was like, look, I landed it. And it happened to actually be a tree in the neighbor's yard. And Andrew was like, what, 12, 13? And, Lon was like, what did you do? I can't believe you did that. Wow. And he had this whole flip attack. And he was actually barbecuing with one of those little barbecue forks or brush or something with the barbecue. I think it was cleaning the barbecue. So that's actually worse because those little brushy things have little bristles on them, right? And he just was like, I can't believe you did that. You embarrassed me. And he just whacked Andrew right off the side of the head with it. And it was the worst thing ever. Andrew was all happy. It was a little kid thing. He was like, look, woo. It didn't hurt anybody, right? It hurt no one. And it turned into this whole abusive event. And I was like, what the hell did you just do to my son? I can't believe you did that. And he was bleeding. Lon was like, he deserved it. And that's kind of what he did to me every time. I was pregnant with Dylan. And he had his dog attack me because we had an argument. And his dog was crazy nuts. That was German Shepherd. And the dog bit me. And I'm like, what the hell, Lon? You have a dog attack me? And he was like, yeah, you deserved it. And in the morning, I'm going to shoot you in the head. And I'm pregnant with his kid. This is the life we lived, okay? So I had to stay up the whole freaking night. I could not sleep. I was like, this man is drunk. He's got a gun right there. Load it right now. He'd already put a gun to my head before. A loaded gun to my head because I was suicidal. I took a bunch of pills. So picture this. I took a bunch of pills, right? Because I was suicidal and depressed as heck. And he found out. And he put a loaded gun to my head and was like, well, if you want to die, I can help you. And it was just so traumatic. And it was just this is the man we live with. So here's what happened. So I'm having a great day. Posted this lovely thing about this song of someone's praying for me. And I'm like, I'm feeling sick as frick all hell still. I'm lactic acidosis. Whatever the heck I know. I'm sick as fuck all hell, right? And I was eating a salad and I was like, well, I'm feeling a bit okay. I feel like people are praying for me and this is a good day. Then I get this text from my ex-husband whom I had blocked, which I should reblock, right? And he's like, yeah, I saw this post on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. And it's nice that, of your memories of things and, you forget that Andrew threw himself into a fence one time and did this and did that and blah, yeah. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, you're still gonna just not even take any responsibility for the abuse that you did. You're gonna blame my deceased son on this shit that you did. I'm like, look at the photo. That was the Chevy that I drove to the hotel. Look in the background. That's the old mill. That's the day you hit him with the barbecue hit thing. I don't care you're 69, you're dementia. You are a narcissistic person who's not taking responsibility for the abuse that led up to my son shooting himself and then years later, him overdosing on drugs. I mean, come on. So then it takes me back, right, to this lawsuit that my son is filing against the state of Oregon, right? And yes, I still want to freaking, if I could, kill that fucking foster father for raping my daughter, right? I wish I could. I really do. But I don't really, want to hurt foster mom because foster mom was in the home. Yes, she was. Christina Sutton. She was in the home. And yep, she's on the lawsuit too. But I do understand because she had filed a previous restraining order against first foster father. But I mean, she should have kind of not had foster kids, 10 of them. If you're just going to be a serial, really bad picker of, domestic violence rapist men or whatever. I don't know what first husband was doing, but he seemed violent. She had filed a restraining order against him. Then she marries Abe, who then raped my daughter, and beat my boys up and restrained him and, multiple police reports about that. So, but I feel sympathetic towards her because these men, abused her too. And I was in that situation, so I understand it. I would not have wanted 10 foster kids in the home around that crap. It's bad enough I had my own, But, it's kind of a thing. So these men, they don't change. This is what, when I went to domestic violence classes and groups, and I kept going, hey, Lon will change. Maybe Lon, he didn't even go to the classes. They wanted him to go to, I think it's called CAFA. In Eugene, Oregon, CAFA, their classes for men, they have that, guys. So if you are in a situation where you have intimate partner violence going on, they have these classes. It's I think it was a 52-week course or something. Lon was like, no, I'm not doing it because they're in denial most of the time that they're abusers, right? But It's to help them to kind of understand what domestic violence is, how it affects children. It's something. So if they're willing to do that, that's at least trying. They're willing to go to therapy and go look at themselves and go, hey, I, kind of emotionally abused my children and my wife and, or whatever. This is a bad situation because it can create emotional abuse. If that's only what's happening, that's as serious as physical abuse. They're both horrible. So today, this man whom I've had 4 children with, right? And my son Andrew was another child that I raised with him from 7 until he shot himself at 17. Thank God. My daughter was from my first marriage. Well, he successfully, took her because they saw the train wreck I was in. And they were like, you can't have this daughter. Now I'm looking back, I'm like, yeah, you guys are freaking right. This man came into my life and everybody saw it but me. Because I kept thinking, he'll change. How about this baby? Maybe he'll change with this baby. No, they don't. So, those are my thoughts. I was just like enjoying my salad and going, people are praying for me. And this is so wonderful that I have people who love me out there. I don't have them within my vicinity, physical proximity. But it's okay, get there someday. I'm planning a trip to the East Coast to see my East Coast peeps. I cannot wait. I'm thinking this fall. Not when it's going to be all, cold and snowy. No, before then, not the winter. So I hope to see you guys soon. But these are my thoughts at Minny at noon. And until next time, guys, see you soon.